Hey Cancer, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. General reading, take what works, leave what doesn't. As I was preparing for your reading, what I thought about was focus. And staying focused on something that you want to be focused on. And maybe even having to adapt a little bit or do something differently or move a little differently in order to maintain that focus. Having sort of either big distractions or a big void that can come in and take your focus, but adapting to the situation, maybe not removing the distraction entirely, but adapting and working your way around it. That was the message I got during your meditation. All right. Overall for the reading, we have Five of Wands, conflict. Inner conflict, outer conflict. Feeling conflicted about something. But it's conflict with others. And it's almost like play fighting, actually. Maybe a little teasing, maybe some light ribbing, but it is like play fighting. I want to even like call it like a fight club, but it's not like, it's like a fight club with like pool noodles or something like that. Like, maybe test of strength here, test of resolve. Who's resolved? Who has the strongest resolve? And there's all different tactics. And even like watching other people's tactics, you can learn a lot. Even like learning from your opponents, watching what they're doing, and not just learning so that you can counterattack better, but learning because they might have some skills that you don't have. And like how you show up, and you might have like a lot of different energy from other people in the situation. You might be coming in, I want to say like a little, not behind, but with a very different energy than everybody else. Other people may seem more like experienced, or I see like some humbleness as you approach this conflict, understanding how much you don't know about something. Okay, past, present, inner landscape. What's at issue? Environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Holy contract, difficulty. Ooh, all right. So, well, I don't know about that. We'll take the cards one by one here. We have in the past Devil energy. This is maintaining without growth, but also without loss. So, you know, you live to fight another day kind of mentality. Maintaining energy, but difficulty breaking free, difficulty breaking a cycle. It takes a lot of work to break out of this cycle, or to break out of this habit, or to break out of a contract. It takes just a huge amount of effort and work, and can feel very hopeless at times to break out of a situation where you don't feel like you're the one that has the power to leave. And that's the only power that you have. There are consequences, but it's difficult. And it's sort of like being beholden to something else. And there's like an exhaustion, a sense of hopelessness, repetition, and just wanting to, working at putting in a lot of effort to break out of it. So it's looking to me like maybe a habit, or maybe like a mode of doing things, or maybe like just a current reality, or something that has been your reality that's just been really difficult to break cycles, or to motivate yourself to like move out of this situation. It's like a wanting to, but not feeling like you have the strength to. Desire to sort of leave a habit, or something like that behind, but just not feeling like you can. Like, it is a lot of work, and it's exhausting to leave sort of this devil energy, this devil loop, to leave this loop behind, this habit or confinement, this corral, right? You like want to be free, but you've been corralled, and it's like hard to leave the corral. How are you going to leave the corral? You can't jump over the fence. And if you do, it's just going to take a lot of work. You need to build up speed to jump over that fence, and you don't have like enough room to build up the speed. It's just like you're a wild pony and you've been corralled, and you want to get out of that corral. So, and maybe the corral was one of your own making. Maybe, the devil energy is always about things that are easy to get into but hard to get out of. So maybe there was some really good grain, some nice alfalfa in the corral, and you willingly went into the corral because who doesn't love alfalfa, And but then they shut the door behind you. So now getting out of the corral is going to be something else. So your current situation in the Hierophant. Hierophant has organizational. It's the most organizational card that there is in the tarot. It talks about organized religion, but it can also talk about any institution, any organization. I love the way this Hierophant comes out here because it's got this sense of there's still some faith in this institution. This Hierophant has almost made it all the way through the, what do I want to say, the Byzantine rules and regulations that organizations have, each one having had a purpose at some point, perhaps no longer has a purpose or still has the purpose, but there are all these rules and regulations to follow. And this Hierophant has gone through all of that and still has faith in the institution. He still does not see it as just like hollow rules and regulations, but can see it as important on their journey. So this Hierophant has already been through these rules. So this could be someone coming in as a mentor. This could be you, or this could just be representing the institution itself. But it typically represents rules and regulations and having faith in the future, and perhaps faith that it just came out in a personal reading, like trusting the process is really what this Hierophant has done. And they've achieved something within an organization by trusting the process, even when it felt like it wasn't going anywhere, even when it felt horrible and it wasn't wasn't fabulous. They still sort of trusted the process. They came out on top with their faith intact. So, and there's also something about roses here. There's like this whole circle, this routine. It's like a new routine. It's a different routine. So like taken together, the devil and the Hierophant are like some sort of horrific, it's like prison is what it looks like. Some sort of horrific institution in which you cannot escape. But taken separately as two separate phases, we have breaking one cycle by entering another cycle, right? Breaking out of one habit by entering a new habit, which is always a good way to break a habit. Or like, you can't just ever say, I don't ever want to be like my parents. You have to figure out what you want to be instead, because you will accidentally go back into that. Those circles have a pull, have a gravity that can pull you back in. Those habits and those routines have a gravity that's very difficult to escape. I'm thinking of like a black hole. Basically, this devil energy is like a black hole, and you're trying to escape it. It's very difficult to escape. But here, this Hierophant has a different energy. This is almost like the gravity of like a sun or a star or something. It has a different energy. It's still going to be a routine. It's still a cycle, but it's a new routine. It's a different routine. Instead of a black hole, we sort of have a sun. So we have like a new routine. It's still like habits, but this one's bad habits, and this one's intentional, structured habits. This one's like chaotic habits. And this one is like replacing like drinking with going to the gym, or replacing, I knew someone who replaced like smoking cigarettes. Were they a Cancer? They might have been a Cancer too. Smoking cigarettes with like chewing on like raw licorice twigs, like actually like not licorice sticks, like not Twizzlers, but like an actual stick, so that they were still getting the same like mouth situation, but this was like a stick with health benefits to it. So so it's like, it looks like a routine, one sort of chaotic, unhealthy routine, breaking out of it by getting into a different routine with more structure, probably an organization. This could also be like going to rehab, you know, replacing one routine with a healthier routine. The Hierophant can also represent marriage. Hopefully you're not moving from like an entrapped relationship that you're trying to get out of and you recognize is unhealthy, and now you're getting married to that person. That could be another interpretation of these two cards together. So I'm hopeful that's not what we're looking at, but we'll see what the rest of this is. Four of Pentacles. You're desiring an absorbing treasure, maybe to distract you from this devil energy, but maybe you're worried about becoming obsessed with something. But I think more often, like a lot of times, like obsession can be just such a great like distraction from other issues, just for a while, just till our emotions simmer down, and then we can like move on. The Four of Pentacles is a very clingy energy. And the interesting thing is that it could be what you're afraid of is this devil, like, again, becoming enamored with the routine that you have had that you want to move out of. Four of Pentacles could also be like a honeymoon period, or a finals period where there's like an intense focus for a period of time. You could want a treasure to cling on to. You know, it's not much, but it's mine, kind of thing. An intense focus, a groundedness. Sometimes it can be like a very clingy energy, as far as like, well, I don't want the 10 of Pentacles. I have 4 Pentacles, so I'm going to stick with my 4 Pentacles. You might be worried that you want to stay with the status quo. There's a certain allure to it. Otherwise, why would you have gotten in? You know, it's like the wild pony in the corral. If we want to take that metaphor, you might be worried about like, well, you know, the alfalfa is really good here. I don't know why I would leave this alfalfa. They feed it to me every day. But what it looks like is like you're going to leave the corral for a training grounds or a training situation or something like that. Like, okay, you've been trapped in this corral. You're not loving it anymore. But maybe you love certain parts of it still. But maybe you're now going into like a training ground. So you're leaving the corral for this one pen for like a much better pen, or like for to be broken and rideable. is what it is. That's a funny metaphor, but you're leaving like just the corral in the wild, where they corral the wild ponies, to like some sort of like arena or something like that, where, you know, you're going to be doing some training now, and you're going to become a very useful pony. You're no longer going to be a wild pony, but you will be a very useful pony. And maybe there's going to be some nostalgia for the alfalfa. Maybe you're hopeful, maybe you hope that you like it, like the training, you know. Some horses really do seem to enjoy it, working with people, and, you know, it's the whole trust the process. Part of this process, breaking in the pony can be, you know, there's a reason why it's called breaking in the pony. It's very, well, there's different ways to do it, but this one, you know, you're hopeful, you could be hopeful that you'll like your new prison better than your old one, so to speak. Like the training arena, you could be hopeful, like, maybe I'll really like this training arena. Maybe this routine, you want to like this routine, even though you know it's not the end all be all of everything, but you really are hoping that you'll like it and that it will catch your fancy. and you'll actually be a little obsessed with it and a little bit into it. So, or you could be, this Four of Pentacles could also be talking about like being very obsessed right now about the new arena that you're going to, about what is possible in reality, and being really interested and curious, and in a way a little obsessive about it. So what's possible here is the World in reverse. So you definitely have not completed training yet. You're not this process. There's a process here that's not over. So if we're going to talk about trust the process, the learning process, the growth process, and at some point you will start to get it, and you will start to get the hang of it. This is just saying it's not over. It's not complete. You haven't arrived anywhere. And I guess that's a little bit true with this Four of Pentacles. It's not the Ten of Pentacles. You haven't arrived anywhere. Maybe the Four of Pentacles too can be about like just enjoying where you're at. But the World card, it's not over. It's not completed. You haven't completed anything here. The process is not complete. You're still in the process. And then in your environment, we have Five of Swords. Other people are making very difficult decisions. And those decisions have an effect on you. Someone else here is choosing themselves, and they don't care about the collateral damage or the side effects. They are maybe not communicating with you right now. I don't think that this one to me doesn't have like an intentional like, yeah, screw you to it. It just has like a, I got to do what's right for me feel to it. So this could be an organization. This could be somebody else. Like if this is conflict here, this Five of Wands conflict, someone has to make difficult decisions. And if they don't work out in your benefit, then they don't work out in your benefit. And that's okay with them. They're not looking out for you. It's not wrong for people to not be looking out for us. You know, it's nice, but not everybody has to, you know, like an employer can't be like, oh, well, you really need a job and I'd like to give you a job. So even though you're a terrible fit and I don't think you have the skills you need, let me put you in here because I know you need a job. That's just not how that kind of situation works. It's like, well, I want to succeed. This person wants to succeed and they want to get the best fit, or maybe their nephew, whatever, you know, that's someone they're looking out for, but it's not you. They're not looking out for you. They're not trying to give you a leg up or help you out. They're just doing what's best for them. This one seems like, you know, they're happy with their choices and their decisions. They're not like sitting around miserable, regretting it. This one is like, okay, well, these are all my toys. I want to play this way. You don't want to play that way. That's fine. You can go home. They're like, I got all the toys. I got everything I wanted out of this situation. And I don't need anything else here. So, and from you, like, I'd rather make this decision than have you in my life. That sounds very extreme, but it's just like someone making a decision that's best for them and not necessarily like really considering. You might have entered into the equation at some point, but you're not the priority. So in your current situation, you have the Sun card. Something is just very clear now. And this clarity provides a lot of growth. It can also be a little bit parching and might dry you out a little bit, or be, you know, you might get burned a little bit by this clarity. But there's a clarity here to embrace. And that's your job, is to be very clear on something and to enjoy that clarity and to realize how helpful that clarity is, how useful that clarity is, how powerful that clarity is. So I think this could be like knowing yourself, knowing your goals, knowing where you want to go, knowing what's going to feed you best, what's going to nurture you, I wouldn't be worrying about other people because a lot of them are not worried about you. I don't want to say everybody, you know, it's just someone here and it has an effect on this scenario that we're talking about. They're not tremendously concerned about your welfare. It's not everybody. It's just like someone here or some situation or organization isn't really like looking out for you. They're looking out for themselves. It almost reminds me of like YouTube and whatever, like these companies, they're not really like trying to show you videos that will uplift you unless you create that in your algorithm. They're trying to make money, and whatever videos you're going to watch, they're going to show you that. So and then they're going to make their money. So so they're not like out here trying to do for your personal highest good. They're trying to do for their bottom line, which is apparently their highest good, like corporately. So that's what, like, people are looking out for themselves, and you need to be aware of that. Like, so for some reason, though, it might not look that way. It might look like they're looking out for you. It might look like, you know, they're trying to, YouTube's here their algorithm has decided that you might like this video so that they can make money. Like, it's not, so, and they're all like that. That's legally, they're obligated to make money. And this is the system that we have. So you have the Sun card, so being very clear, but then in your possible outcome, we have the Star card. There are reasons to hope. So I think you need to see a situation very clearly here. And don't, you know, because here's like a lot of conflict, a lot of varying ways of looking at things and dealing with something. And your job here is to get clear on, just to be clear and be happy about it. Be happy that you've discovered that you know something. That you know something and that you're clear on it. Because this Five of Swords with this conflict, I think this is a lot about knowing yourself, being clear on who you are, being clear on what you want. Yeah. And then possible outcome Star. Yeah, we're repeating ourselves, but that's the way it goes with me. The Star card, looking to the future, nurturing the future. There are reasons to hope. I like how the Sun is before, like this, there's some truth that's up close. And what that up close truth can do, I think, is to give you some hope for the future. And to be a guide to you. Because the Sun can't be a guide. It's too close to be a guide to the future and to our destiny. But the North Star can be a guide. That's the Sun, but it's much further away and we can follow it. So I think like this Sun card could be like understanding your own North Star, seeing something very clearly and very close up. Like, because the Sun to us is moving. The North Star is not moving. The North Star is a goal, a distant sun. It's a very distant sun and a distant goal. And going there, I was thinking about this earlier today, like, you're at one oasis in the desert and you see another oasis and you want to go to that oasis. It looks very fun. You've experienced everything at this oasis. It's not that you hate this oasis and this oasis was a terrible oasis. It was a waste of oasis. It's not that. It's that you've been here for a while, right? You've been corralled in this oasis for a while and it's been good. But you see a distant oasis. And so you want to go to that one. That one looks interesting. It's got new stuff, different stuff. It looks interesting. But between you and that is a whole desert. And there's like steps that you take, and each step you take gets you closer. But at some point there might come in a little bit of hopelessness of like, am I getting closer? What's happening? So I think the Sun card is like seeing something very clearly where you want to go. And the Star card is like, okay, just keep taking those steps. Stay focused on where you want to go. Oh, and I started the reading with that whole focus idea. Stay focused on where you want to go and take each step. This Hierophant lately has been talking to me about process. So the step-by-step process, and some days it will be very difficult, and some days you're not sure you're going to get there, and some days you're not sure, did you even take a step today, or what? There's just like steps. It's reminding me of the 12-step process. Like, you're here and you're corralled here and you want to go over there, and there's steps and there's a process to go, and at times it will feel like you're not getting to that other oasis, and that oasis is a mirage. So there's a lot of, but the star card is talking about like faith in the future, and like right now you might be very obsessed with this other oasis. You want to go to this other oasis because this oasis, the corral in the wild, is difficult, and now you see like, I want to go to the training corral. This corral is, I'm done with this one. So yeah, so it's like you suddenly see something very clearly and where you want to go very clearly, and the star card is you have every reason to believe that you can make it there. So keep going and keep going on the process, and don't get distracted, right? Because we're staying focused on that North Star. Okay, Cancer, let's see what we got here. Let's see, I went 1 or 2 cards for synchronicity, or I don't know, whatever else. More information. Okay. Give me 3. Moonlight enchantment, magic. So magic always talks to me about creating intention and allowing other things to come in and help you out that you didn't expect. Magic to me is like things coming in, well, for these purposes, things coming in, opportunities coming that you didn't necessarily like know were there or work for, or it's like there's on your oasis, you see this other oasis, you want to go there, but what you don't know is there's some really cool oasis like down in a gully or whatever they're called in the desert, in between there that you're going to experience. So it's something kind of unexpected, help from the universe that you didn't know, you didn't even know to ask for. So moonlight enchantment, which is great because the moon rules Cancer also. And we have the sun card, so I like the moon card. That's almost like talking about an intuitive sense of heading somewhere and having unexpected help along the way. We also have Pegasus, transcending, rising above. That to me is talking about the devil and the Hierophant moving from rising above this sort of low vibe devil energy into like, look, it's, oh my God, this is so like religious and cosmic. We have the devil in hell, and then we have the Hierophant in heaven. And then we have this like Pegasus that's rising up from the devil into heaven, and the devil and the Hierophant. Oh my God, the priest and the devil, fascinating. Going from devil energy to priest energy, both part of that whole belief system. Yeah, and so this Pegasus is rising above something, transcending a situation, and you're in the process of doing that. But as far as like, if you see a Pegasus, take note. If you see a wolf or the moon, take note. And then earth spirit stability. Yeah, we have a fairy that's usually flying around, but this is a very grounded, sitting energy, like very sitting energy, you know. Yeah, but really like a sense of like dropping anchor, dropping energetic anchor somewhere. And like, I think part of stability can be like being able to have an emotion and then think about how you want to respond to it versus like having an emotion and of course I would do that. That's what you do when you have that emotion. No. There's like 5 to 10 options of how to express an emotion or what you can do with an emotion, and being able to sort that through. And to me, that's a lot of stability, is being able to sit with an emotion, being able to experience the emotion. But I think also this Hierophant definitely talks about stability as well. So we have swans, we have lanterns, we have butterflies, and we have a fairy. So I think this 4 of Pentacles also talks a lot about stability too. Being in a stable energy, sitting your butt down and staying there. 4 of Pentacles can be clingy, but it can also be like very, right? I think we were talking about how she was grounded in reality, a very grounded in reality energy. There's a sense of like, this is what I have, this is where I am, and there's a lot of stability in that. We don't stay at the Four of Pentacles forever, but as a place to move through, it's important. There's actually a lot of sitting here. An unusual amount. Okay. And, oh my gosh, are you serious? I took out a little prayer from the center of the deck, and we have, dear Cancer, cautious crab. You. Plus we have the moon showing up here. Cautious crab. Defense, sensitivity, self-sufficiency. Child of the great Mother Ocean, encompass my soul with your sturdy shell. It's a prayer of protection as you travel from one oasis to another. All right, I hope that was helpful, Cancer. Thank you so much for joining me. Oh, you know what I forgot to mention earlier? I am doing extendeds. They are relationship readings, because I find these readings a little easier to do sometimes when there's like a focus on them, then I'm not trying to reach for every possibility. But you know, whether this is work or something like that. So it's a relationship focus, and I'm trying to read for both singles and people in relationships. So if you want to join me over there, the link is in the description box. If you have trouble accessing the link, you can email me. And I can't necessarily fix the link, but I can help you work around the issue. So yeah, join me over there if you want. All right, thanks for joining me here.